night, it was kind of ironic. I was getting ready, my devotional ready last night, and thought I would do one on faith. And this morning, as we were reading devotionals, it went over the same exact thing that I had been looking at last night. If you weren't here on Sunday, which Dan and Connie, you weren't, you missed an excellent sermon by Paul. He told a story, which I think a lot of times we just don't do enough of. Because the greatest storyteller was Jesus, and he told stories. And we remember a lot of stories from the Bible, and those are things that impress upon us the most. Probably one of my favorite stories is when the children of Israel were taken out of Egypt. When Moses went through all of that stuff with Pharaoh. And then when they finally left, and then they come up against the Red Sea. And how are they going to get across? Pharaoh's behind them, coming in. He's going to wipe them out. He knows he's going to get to do it. They're afraid that they're going to get wet. Moses takes his staff, and the water parts. Now, how do you think those people felt? I mean, they had moments of faith that, yeah, we're going to make it, and then moments of doubt. He's coming, the army's there, we're going to get killed. When they seen that water part, man, their faith was never stronger, was it? Now, there's another story that you might not remember as much, but it was with Joshua. When they were going into the Promised Land, and the priests were carrying the ark. Red Sea parted there again, too. But they had to step in the water before it parted. How many times do we go through life and our faith is so strong when that door is opened in front of us and look at there, but how many times have we put to the test that we've got to put our feet in the water first? Having that kind of faith. Now we can probably all say that we have very strong faith in what Jesus done for us in going to the cross, dying there, taking away our sins with his blood. Our faith is pretty strong. Now think about today, the things that have happened today, how things have worked out. How was our faith? We got through another day. We're confident God was with us. Now what about tomorrow? How much faith do we have for tomorrow? If you go to Hebrews 11, there's a lot of talk about faith. Hebrews 11. Verse 7. By faith, Noah, when warned about things not yet seen, in holy fear, built an ark to save his family. They didn't know what rain was. They didn't know what flooding was. And God told him, build an ark. Now, would we do that if there was no possible way in the world that we would think this is necessary? But God told us, you do that. We're going to do it? Is there things that we do in the church that we are a little lax on because we think, God says to do that, but do I really need to do it? What if that was Noah's attitude? Well, I don't know why in the world we have to have a boat. And especially one that big. I'm going to have to work a long time to get this built. This is a project. What about today? What do we have? We've got a project before us. This whole area, town, Lamai County, there's a project there. What are we doing with it? We're starting. We're starting right there. Because I think sometimes we think that we're waiting for that door to open before we step in. We want to step on dry ground. Another one. Isaac was offered. Hebrews 11:17-19. By faith Abraham, when God tested him, offered Isaac as a sacrifice. He who had received the promises was about to sacrifice his one and only son. Even though God had said to him, "It is through Isaac that your offspring will be reckoned." Abraham reasoned that God could raise the dead, and figuratively speaking, he did receive Isaac back from the dead. Isaac, his only son, the promised one, and God says, "Go up and sacrifice him." I mean, how much faith do you got to have to go ahead through that? To take the one that was given to you by God and say, "Okay, I'll go up and sacrifice him." Do you think he was really joyous about that? Do you think he was struggling in his mind a little bit about that? But yet he continued on. And he had his hand raised with the knife. I mean, I can't imagine that kind of faith. But yet it's possible that each one of us can have that kind of faith. We can have that. The walls of Jericho, how they came down. What if they hadn't have done exactly what he said? It would have changed history. Same thing with us. We can change history by what we do. By how we react to things that God puts in our midst, in our focus, whatever it might be. We can change the history of Salmon. Do we want to? I think that's the question. Do we really want to? Because God can lay this out for us, and He can work it in many different ways. He can open doors. I'm not saying that He can't. But I think sometimes He has things where we have to actually step in the water. We have to actually do something on our part before that is actually, the sea is opened up for us. In 2 Corinthians 5 verse 7 it says we have to live by faith, not by sight. I think too many times we want to see what's going to happen first. I want to see it, God, before I'm going to do my part. You show me. Sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes we have to just go by faith. It's not shown to us yet. The righteous shall live by faith, Romans 1:17 and Galatians 3:11. The righteous shall live by faith. I think probably the hardest thing as a Christian is to have that total faith that when you're at the end of your rope, you let go. And you let God take over. And I think we have the tendency, whether it be pride or fear of rejection, that we just don't want to let go. We want to have that last bit of control. I can hang on. I can hang on. And yet He's wanting us to just let go. He's wanting us to step off the bank and hit the water. And I think too many times we just don't want to do that. Sometimes we're told to walk down a path with no evidence of what will happen when we do. No evidence there at all of what's going to happen. But yet He wants us to go down that path. Waiting on God, praying, all those things may be what we need to be doing to get our feet wet. And then He's going to, and once we get our feet wet, then He'll open it up for us. But are we really doing those things? Are we really preparing ourselves for the water to be parted? Having that confidence. I mean, if you remember, the Jordan was at flood stage. I mean, we're talking flood stage. Now, if you've ever seen the Salmon River at flood stage, you can just imagine you're on the bank there, and He says, okay, I want you to cross. You know, and you know that first step's going to be about 5 foot down. I mean, can you imagine? And yet, that's what they were told to do. And I don't believe they wavered. I'm sure they had doubts. But they knew they had to get to the other side. And remember, they were carrying the ark. A lot of responsibility. A lot of responsibility. Same with us. We have a responsibility. What's it tell us to do? Go into all the world. Teaching them, baptizing them. Now, we can say, well, yeah, but that means overseas. No, that means the world is right outside this door. And if we will get our feet wet, I can guarantee you, because it says here, the water will part. The doors will open. But we have to get our feet wet. I don't think sometimes God works where He just opens it up and oh, we see the path clearly now. He's saying, you know what to do. I told you what to do. Now I want you to step out there. That's the hardest thing for me to do. It's the hardest thing for me to do. Is to step out there and get my feet wet. Because I like to see the scenario. Paul can vouch for this. I got it all worked out. This is how it will go. And there's 4 or 5 scenarios, and it'll go with one of these. Don't spring something new on me, God. And that's exactly what I'm afraid of. Is that He will put something out there that I'm not comfortable with. That's going to stretch me to maybe almost the breaking point. I don't think He wants to break anybody down, but He wants to stretch you so that He can continue to purify you, so He can continue to help you grow and realize that the more we do, the more our faith is increased. I hope this devotional helped you. It definitely helped me, because I am struggling with what direction God wants me to go and where I need to be putting my feet, because I like to have good solid ground, and sometimes He just kind of guides me in a different area, and it's like, I don't know, I'm not comfortable right here. So if there's anyone that has a need, anyone that has a decision they need to make in their life, to turn back towards God, or anyone needs any help, please let that be known as we stand and sing.